Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay, but we will have coverage back on the air shortly. Welcome back to Ranger softball at the Alva Rec Complex in Game 4 of this four-game set with Harding University. We're in the bottom of the first inning as senior Madison Parrott steps in to lead off for the Rangers.
and we apologize for the brief lack of play-by-play commentary here. We were having some technical difficulties here at the Alvarette Complex, but here in the second game of this doubleheader, Madison Garza, one of 9 seniors to be honored this afternoon, has gotten to work early and often here, retiring her first 5 and now 6 batters. That batter, Caitlin Gordon, number 1, the third baseman, by way of fly out to the right fielder, Macy Madewell. So the Rangers set to try and win this series here. They lead 2-1 after dropping the first game by a final score of 3-2. Let's take a look here at the starting lineups for first the Northwestern Oklahoma State Rangers. Hitting leadoff will be number 17, the first baseman, Maddie Parrott, followed up by number 3, the third baseman, Brittany Corrales, number 4, the shortstop, Jordan Sutton, number 8, the center fielder, Madison McGraw, number 7, the right fielder, Macy Madewell, number 1, the catcher, Audrey Estes, number 23, the designated hitter, Jada Overby, number 10, the second baseman, Katie Bell, and number 2, the left fielder, Peyton Garrett. For the Harding Bisons, hitting leadoff will be number 28, the second baseman, Maddie Trump, the right fielder, number 7, Peyton Mills, the designated hitter, number 12, Briley Faringa, the shortstop, number 24, Madison Leggett, the first baseman, number 11, Amanda Fields, the third baseman, number 1, Caitlin Gordon, the left fielder, number 14, Hannah Fisher, the center fielder, number 2, Kendall Pirtle, and the catcher, number 40, Katie Carney. With that being said, Madison Garza, the pitcher for the Rangers, has gotten off to a hot start. While on the other side of the ball, the Rangers were unable to capitalize on a leadoff single from Madison Parrott in the bottom half of the first. As we move to the bottom half of the second inning with the score tied 0-0, this will be Macy Madewell here at the plate. Look at a first pitch here underway here in the bottom half of the second. Once again, apologize for the technical difficulties. Trying to bring you the best coverage here as possible from the Alva Recreational Complex of today's Senior Day festivities. That one will be a called strike. Senior 1 of 9. As I mentioned throughout the day, will be honored here throughout the Senior Day festivities. Starting pitcher for the Harding Bisons, Emily Garrett. As that one is rolled over foul into the Ranger dugout. The starting pitcher for the Bisons, Emily Garrett, has appeared in 30 games so far this year. Starting in 15 of those, she sports a .255 ERA and posts a record of 9-5. Entering her start this afternoon, she has thrown 109 innings, giving up 132 hits, 58 runs, 40 of those being earned, surrendering 38 walks, striking out 36 batters as Macy Madewell will ground out to the shortstop for the first out of the inning, a 6-3 put out of her. Garrett has struck out 36 batters, as I mentioned, given up 20 doubles, and has surrendered just 2 home runs in 109 innings pitched. Batters are hitting .291 off of her. Garrett, a freshman from Rockwall, Texas, attended Dallas Christian School. One of the many freshmen. Let's see if I can count it up here. 9 on the roster for the Harding Bisons. They are a young team, a very talented team, as Audrey Estes here step up to the plate, face off with Garrett. And that is a line drive out to right field that will drop in front of the right fielder. There was a little bit of miscommunication there between the second baseman, Trump, and the right fielder, Mills, and neither of them got under it. So that will be, we'll see how that's scored, but I'm assuming that's going to be a hit for Audrey Estes. Nonetheless, she will serve as the second base runner of the afternoon. And the first of the bottom half of this second inning here as Jada Overby step up to the plate for her first action. She did not play in the first game, however. Yesterday she did go 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and 1 run scored of her own. So a vital contributor to both of those victories yesterday afternoon for Northwestern. Will get her a chance to dig in here and face off with the freshman Emily Garrett with a runner on first base. So Estes stands at first. Garrett will get her signs as all Harding pitchers do from the dugout and deliver. Like a little low and outside for ball number 1. Brady takes her practice cuts. The Bisons took game number 1 thanks to a 2-run home run by Peyton Mills that put the Bisons ahead and ultimately led to the 3-2 victory to move the series to 2 games to 1 in favor of Northwestern. Northwestern will look to close out their season on a high note as they have officially been eliminated from GAC postseason play with the loss as they needed to win out in order to qualify tournament. So that one misses just inside. So still a lot to play for as we honor our 9 seniors that have been great contributors to this program. Head coach Jill Webb and her staff have done a phenomenal job in honoring those young ladies throughout the afternoon. I don't think you could script a better finish here than a victory over a good young Harding team that has found success in this conference in the past and figures to continue to do so. Overby swings and misses at that one. So far, that's the call on the field, and I think there might be some, as I anticipated. I think she got a piece of it. Nobody really reacted, but in fact, be a strikeout. I believe, like I said in the first game, around here in center field in the Ranger production truck, so sometimes it's a little hard to get the exact call. Nonetheless, Overby is retired on the strikeout for the second out of the inning, bringing up Katie Bell, senior Des Moines area community college transfer. She has played 2 years here in the black and red and will look to get fellow senior Audrey Estes, who stands at second, around to get the scoring started for this game. Garrett misses outside for ball number 1. Beautiful day here at the Alva Rec Complex. 75. Temperatures nearly reaching 80 degrees. We'll call it 78 or 79 degrees now. Moving into the second game as that one is hit high above the field, but it will be caught by the shortstop, number 24, Madison Leggett, to retire. So the Rangers get nothing across with the 1-out single of Audrey Estes. We will move to the top half of the third inning. Madison Garza looks to continue to deal on the mound. She will have Fisher, Pirtle, and Carney due up here in the top half of the third inning. You're watching Ranger Softball live on RideRangersRide.com. Hannah Fisher gets us started here in the bottom half of the third inning, but she will fly out to the right fielder, Macy Madewell, as Ranger starter Madison Garza continues to deal effectively here and has retired the first 7 batters of her outing, drawing up Kendall Hurdle, the center fielder number 2. Plate. Senior Madison Garza continues to roll here in her final outing as a Ranger starter. As mentioned in the pregame ceremony, she has done a lot for the program in the circle. Love to go out on top here. She misses that pitch just high. Garza last year tossed the first no-hitter in program history during the NCAA Division II era right here at the Alvarette Complex against Arkansas Monticello, and has had some stellar outings. That bunt from Pirtle is laid down foul. She has had some stellar outings, has had a little bit of trouble this season getting some offensive assistance, therefore not recording the best of records, but she does have an ERA of just 4.03. She is 5-15 on the year, has appeared and started in 24 games, has thrown 13 complete games. She has thrown 146 innings, surrendered just 154 hits, given up 84 runs, walked 72 batters, struck out 131, most on the team, given up just 14 home runs. So, an up and down senior season for Madison Garza, but nevertheless a successful one, wrapping up a stellar 3-year career. That will be fouled off straight back into the dirt to the catcher, Audrey Estes. We will reset and do it again. Madison Garza, obviously, with some shoulder problems throughout her career, has battled through that ever since she arrived on campus as a transfer from Houston Victoria. So she wears the right arm sling as she delivers low and outside in the dirt. Count moves full at 3-2. Kendall Pirtle, the center fielder number 2. Once again, a freshman out of Bixby, Oklahoma. Show bunt as she pulls back and Garza delivers, and it is hit into left field past the outstretched arms of the third baseman Corrales. And Pirtle serves as our first hit and first base runner here in the top half of the third inning with a 1-out single, as Madison Garza will work with a runner on base for the first time this afternoon. Garza picked up a victory yesterday afternoon in her one start. She went 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits, struck out 9 batters along the way. Going to complete 7 innings, picking up 1 of 2 victories on the afternoon. She will look to officially pick up the series victory for the Rangers. Kendall Pirtle will steal second. I was checking out the stats from Garza. So that is right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Now the count moves to even 1-1, and Harding threatens first base runner in scoring position as that one is dribbled. Foul picked up. I couldn't really tell from where I was sitting that was fair foul, but it was in fact foul as Madison Parrott. First baseman picks it up and throws it back over, and we will reset with the count 1-2. Madison Garza squaring off with Katie Carney here, the catcher number 40. A sophomore out of Loganville, Georgia. That is lined out to the first baseman, Madison Parrott. For the second out of the inning, we'll move back to the top of the order as Maddie Trump, number 28, the second baseman who flew out to right field in her first at-bat, will dig in against Madison Garza. Just a little low and outside as Garza tries to work around her first base runner that but she has surrendered here. Kendall Pirtle got on with a single to left field, and then advanced to second by way of a stolen base as Garza will rock and fire right down the heart of the plate. An off-speed pitch for a strike. The count moves even at 1-1. Harding, both teams have played well throughout this series. The only difference in that last game earlier this morning, a two-run home run by right fielder Harding right fielder Peyton Mills over the left field fence, and what was an 0-2 count, and she just dug a ball out of the dirt and barely got it over the left field fence. But that proved to be the difference as Pirtle stays alive with a foul ball. So both teams have battled hard. That one misses high in the last series of the season. Harding has clinched their spot for the Great American Conference postseason tournament, as after their win earlier this morning, they moved to 30-21 for their overall record and a 22-19 number for their conference record. So they will take part in the GAC postseason festivities as they move to look to capture a Great American Conference championship, one of many for the school that has experienced a lot of success here in this young Great American Conference. Shift our focus back to today. Trump will dig in. Down 2 strikes as Garza delivers and misses outside, and she will walk her as the count was full. And that is the second base runner, the first walk Garza has issued her outing today. She walked 3 batters yesterday, so that is something that she will have to work around here with runners on first and second. She will deliver as it bounced past her. Katie Bell, the second baseman, picks it up and will tag out the runner, Trump, who tried to avoid the tag at second but was unsuccessful. So that will serve as the third out of the inning. It will be a 4 unassisted putout. And the Rangers get back into the dugout after the first hit from Kendall Pirtle. Brings us to the bottom half of the third inning. It will be Bell, Garrett, and Parrott due up here in the bottom half of the third inning. You're watching Ranger Softball live on RideRangersRide.com. And Peyton Garrett will lead things off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Called strike. Garrett will be the 9-hole batter before we go back to the top of the lineup for the Rangers. It will be Herb Parrott and Brittany Corrales, who homered back in the first game, set to go in the bottom half of this third inning with our score tied 0-0. Harding just got their first base runner last inning, but get her to second base before starter Madison Garza finally worked her way out of it. Garrett will look on as Emily Garrett, the starter for Harding, gets the signals and a check swing, and that will be a strikeout as she did, in fact, go. First strikeout of the afternoon for Emily Garrett. That will put us back at the top of the lineup as Maddie Parrott, who led off this contest with a single back in the first, will lead things off here and face Garrett as she misses just outside. Open up the count at 1-0. Parrott and Estes, the only two Ranger hits so far. 2 innings moving into the third as Parrott will get set and swinging a hard hit ball, but foul. Parrott, the leading hitter for the Rangers, done her damage throughout this series, although she did struggle in the first game a bit. She was 3 for 6 at the plate yesterday, so trying to get things going here as she did in the first inning and keep that momentum going as she will lay down a bunt, picked up by the first baseman, thrown over, but dropped by the second baseman, Trump, and I believe that will be an error if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to wait on the official score, but nonetheless, Madison Parrott is on base. Whether that be an error or a hit, we will await the official scoring from our statistician team behind home plate. That will bring up Brittany Corrales with Maddie Parrott at first. Like I said, Corrales had a successful game 1. Takes that for strike number 1, scoring a home run in the first, and then she came back in the 4th inning and was a part of that strange play in which she was called, the catcher on her swing was called for catcher interference with the bases loaded, that walked in Morgan Kirk for, at the time, the go-ahead run. The Rangers ahead 2-1, so an interesting call, but Corrales did her part with a good hard swing that caught the catcher's mitt. She will look to continue to provide a positive impact moving into today's afternoon game. Stare down the pitcher, Emily Garrett, who will deliver, and she will hit another one foul down the third base line. Corrales' home run was the 3rd of the season for her. She will look to get Maddie Parrott across, who struck with a 1 out. Actually, we are still waiting on the official scoring from our statistician team, so not sure. I think they may be debating it back there as we speak. That one is lined right back to the pitcher, Garrett, who bobbles the ball, turns, and makes the throw, and does just in time on a hard hit ball in which she caught initially but then dropped, had to pick up and spin back around to make the put out at first base. Parrott does have time to advance to second base, as it is official that it was an error that allowed her to get on base. Phenomenal job back there from our statistician team, Jay Lee and Patrick Inkpen, getting that figured out. 1-3 put out of Corrales will bring up Jordan Sutton here with 2 outs and Maddie Parrott on second. She will look at the first pitch, take her time, go through a routine, step back in, and stare down and await Emily Garrett's pitch. Garrett receives the signals from the dugout, as all Harding pitchers do. Bill Berry has done that all series long, so she will rock and fire. That ball is popped up foul for the heads of the decent crowd that has come out for the senior festivities here at the Alvarette Complex. You will continually hear me mention 9 seniors have received the recognition that they well deserve after their impact to this program that is continuing to build to become a force in the Great American Conference. Jordan Sutton, who grounded out back in the first inning to the shortstop. In here, take a couple practice swings, get loose, wait the delivery from Garrett, which comes and is lined right back at her, right up the middle. Parrott coming around to score, and she will slide in home, and we have our first run of the game. That ball was hit so hard I couldn't come up exactly with what to say. But that will be a 2-out RBI single for Jordan Sutton as Parrott comes around to score, and that will make our score 1-0. A absolute rocket of a shot right back at the pitcher from Sutton. Parrott with the wheels came around and slid into home. That will bring up Madison McGraw, the senior center fielder, who also grounded out to the shortstop. Face off against Garrett, who now trails in this game by a score of 1-0. Low and outside, the Rangers strike first for the fourth consecutive time, even though they lost that last game, they did in fact score first. So that was the fourth. This will be the fourth consecutive contest in which they have put the first runs on the board, something Coach Webb all week talked about being an important factor against this solid Harding pitching staff. Is that slow turning curveball buckles McGraw, and that will be a called strike. Count moves 1-1. Have an update here for Ranger baseball from Weatherford as they're taking on the Southwestern Bulldogs. Currently tied in the bottom half of the seventh inning by a score of 3-3. Looking to close out their series high note as well, as Judas Zickafoos had a 2-run home run. It's the highlight of the runs being scored for the Rangers, as that one misses inside here in Alva. But Ranger baseball, I don't think anything can be taken away from the Ranger baseball program after the disappointing year last year. They've had a great season this year. Obviously, they were knocked out of Great American Conference contention last night with the loss to SWASU, but still a phenomenal season and a program definitely on the rise for head coach Ryan Bowen and company. That ball will be fouled off down the first base line. So both Ranger baseball and Ranger softball playing for nothing but pride and moving into the off season on a positive note here. Programs with some youth and some talent, and definitely some things to look forward to here in the near future of both programs. Count is full here for Madison McGraw, who will dig in against Garrett, who delivers, and that one is chopped foul behind her. Just gets a piece of it. That ball looked like a frisbee coming up to the plate. Madison McGraw with the good hand-eye coordination to make contact with it. Stays alive with the count full at 3-2. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third inning. Jordan Sutton cashed in Maddie Parrott for our first run of the game. Madison McGraw with a tremendous at-bat will draw the walk and trot down to first. Sutton moves over to second. First walk issued by Garrett. Parrott got on as our second batter of this inning by way of an error. Moved over by Brittany Corrales when she grounded out to the pitcher. Followed up by a line shot right up the middle to Sutton that scored her all the way from second. She slid in on the inaccurate throw and put our first run up on the ball game. Here to a Macy Madewell at bat, in which she looks at the first pitch. Continue to roll on here at the Alvarette complex. Sutton stands on second, McGraw on first. That one is rolled over to the fence down the third base line by Madewell, our batter. high and outside too. Move ahead in the count. Ball's one strike. Delivered and fouled off, and the count moves even at 2-2. So we will get a new ball in play here as Garrett will look over, as all Harding pitchers do for the signals. Checks her wristband, toes the rubber, winds and delivers. Swung on and missed, and that will be strike 3 on Macy Madewell for the third out of the inning. The second strikeout for Emily Garrett on the afternoon, but the Rangers do move ahead 1-0 thanks to a RBI Jordan Sutton single that scored Maddie Parrott from second. Parrott advanced on by way of an error, so Northwestern makes Harding pay for their defensive mistakes as we will move to the top half of the fourth inning here with Harding due up. They will have Mills, Faringa, and Leggett, the heart of their order, the 2-3-4 hole hitters, set to go here. You are watching live Ranger softball on RideRangersRide.com. Count moves even at 1-1 as Briley Faringa has stepped in here in the top half of this fourth inning to face off against Madison Garza, who has seen just 2 base runners get on base here in this game. She struck out Harding's best hitter throughout the season and this series, Peyton Mills, to end the third inning and bring us to this point. Northwestern finally gave her some run support, which they have struggled to do all season. Jordan Sutton single that scored Madison Parrott around from second. So Faringa will step in. Five foot four sophomore out of Glendale, Arizona. She will draw the walk and trot down to first base for the third base runner. Game as number 24, Madison Leggett, the shortstop, will step in. She struck out against Garza back in the second. No outs here. Faringa will stand on first base, drawing the no-out walk. Maddie Parrott will come over to chat with her fellow senior Madison Garza and calm her down before she goes to work here against the 4-hole hitter of the Bisons. Get one of the many talented freshmen here on this Harding squad. She is a Rockwall, Texas native, attended Rockwall Heath High School just east of the Dallas Metroplex. And that will be a first pitch called strike by our home plate umpire as the count opens at 0-1. Fringa will take off to second, but Madison Parrott will make the pop out catch as the hit and run was on, and Leggett popped one up to Parrott, and Fringa was tagged out at first for the double play. That was huge as we now have 2 outs here in the top half of this 4th inning. The leadoff walk was negated by the double play turned by Madison Parrott as the base paths are now clear for Amanda Fields, the first baseman. Number 11. Garza can now settle in and get back to work. Garza checks the signals, rocks, and delivers right down the heart of the plate for a called strike. I think Coach Phil Berry had the hit and run on, and Fringa over at first base never saw the ball and was just caught in no man's land as Matty Parrott easily made the catch and the tag for the double play. That changeup falls off the plate but will not be taken. Check down to first base. Not see the official call. The count moves 2-1. Outside, moving the count to 3-1 as Garza is in danger of surrendering her second walk of this inning and third of the game. He has walked a total of 72 batters. In comparison, her running mate Carly Murray has walked just 19 throughout the year. So walk's definitely an issue for Garza, but that one is fouled off as the count moves to full, 3-2. Amanda Fields, the batter, will have to reset, dig in here, and look for something. Get in play. Garza checks the signals. Rocks and fires, and a changeup misses just high on a nice pitch. Buckled Fields at the plate, but it was out of the strike zone, so that will be her second walk issued of the inning. And the second base runner for Harding, as Fields will stand on first. Garza trying to work around 2 walks here in the top half of the 4th as her offense provided some much-needed support as that ball is hit right at the second baseman who makes a diving catch. Katie Bell on a weird hit ball. It had so much spin on it. It was like it was right at her, but then at the last second she had to dive and pick it up off the dirt around second base and makes the third out of the inning. So Gordon is retired as we will move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. It will be Estes, Overby, and Bell due up for the Rangers here as they are looking to close out the series with a victory and a series victory. They're ahead of the Harding Bisons 1-0. Moving into the bottom of the 4th, you are listening to Ranger Softball Live on RideRangersRide.com. set to get things started in the bottom half of the fourth. Senior Audrey Estes digs in and takes a first pitch ball against Harding starter Emily Garrett. Estes singled back in the second inning. Tried the second of 3 hits for the Rangers so far. She will foul that one off behind her on a pitch well inside. Impressive that she caught up to it. Western looking to pick up a day split as they drop the first game this afternoon by a final score of 3-2. Harding used a Peyton Mills home run over the left field fence to take that one, as that one is skied to right field, and the right fielder make the play. Mills on that one. Nice path in getting the put out. F9 as Jada Overby, the designated player, number 23. Take her practice cuts and step in here at the arc. Out the batter's box, digs in, and will stare down Garrett as she delivers. Just outside for ball number 1. Count opens at 1-0. Estes leads things off with a pop out to right field as the Rangers will be looking to extend their 1-0 advantage here at the Alva Rec Complex against the Harding Bisons. Garrett, the starting pitcher, will deliver right down the heart of the plate for a called strike, and the count evens at 1-1. A little bit of breeze has begun to pick up here as the temperatures continue to rise into the low 80s here in Alva. Beautiful day for softball as Garrett will rock and deliver, and that one is fouled down the first base line. Overby fights that one off to fall behind 1-2. Get a new ball in play here. Everybody will get reset. Batter steps back in. Pitcher signals. Toes the rubber, and we are ready to go with the 1-2 count. Chopped foul as Overby continues to battle and stay alive here, trying to become the first base runner of this inning. Estes was retired just a few moments ago by way of a pop out to right field. The Rangers did, however, in the last inning capitalize on a defensive mistake for the Bisons. Madison Parrott was the second batter of the inning and got on by way of an error, then was moved over when Brittany Crowless grounded out to the pitcher, and then scored from second base during a play in which Jordan Sutton hit an absolute rocket shot back up the middle. Parrott made a good turn at third and slid in on the errant throw and got our first run on the board here to give the Rangers the advantage. So that sets the stage with this one. We've got one out here in the bottom half of this fourth inning. Overby digs in, stares down the pitcher, Emily Garrett, who will be working for her 10th win of the season. That one misses just outside as Overby will continue to battle and stay alive. Overby will be followed up by Katie Bell, and then if one of those two happens to get on, that will bring us to the bottom of the order and Peyton Garrett before we move back up to the top. That is in there for called strike number 3 on the inside half of the plate. Good at bat, however, by Jada Overby, who has put together a lot of good at bats here throughout this series. She will be retired by way of strikeout for our second out of the inning. That brings up senior Katie Bell, the second baseman. 9 seniors here that are being honored out the afternoon as they participate in their final doubleheader, final game, and final series of their Northwestern Ranger career. Katie Bell will dig in and take a first pitch strike from Emily Garrett and fall behind in the count 0-1. 2 outs in the bottom half of this fourth inning. Looks like we're beginning to have a few issues with our live stats once again. And as that one misses outside and the count moves 1-1. Bell will step back in, take some practice hacks, and await the delivery, which it comes, and it is swung on and missed. A pitch that fell off the table on the outside half of the plate. Bell is down with 2 strikes. She will need to stay alive here to keep this bottom half of the 4th inning rolling. Saw in the last game that a 1-run lead is not enough against this Harding squad, as that one is just outside. Called ball. They had the 2-1 advantage before Mills put together a 2-run shot on a 0-2 count that put them ahead 3-2, and ultimately the Rangers could not get another run across and fell by a final score of 3-2. That one is inside, and the count will move full 3-2 as Katie Bell, with 2 good takes there, gets the call from the umpire behind the plate. So the count moves full with 2 outs here in the bottom half of this 4th inning. Grounding out to the third baseman in her first at bat, and that one is popped high above the Alva Rec complex. Shortstop number 24, Leggett, will come in and make the play, and that will be the 3rd out of our inning. So that will be 1-2-3 for the Rangers. We will move into the 5th with the score: Northwestern 1, Harding 0. You are watching live softball on RideRangersRide.com. Fisher will get us started here in the 5th inning with a foul down the first base line. We have a Ranger baseball update. In the top of the 9th inning, the Rangers have taken a 4-3 lead over the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs. That one is in the dirt. Western baseball trying to end their season on a high note. Judah Zickafoos homered earlier in the game. So did third baseman Justin Bundy. So a little bit of power in the middle of that Ranger lineup this year and next year, as both are juniors and will return. That will be the second pitch of the at-bat in the dirt for Garza. He will move ahead 2-1. The Fisher, Pirtle, and Kearney here to open up this 5th inning, as the Bisons will try and match the Rangers' run, as the score is just 1-0 here at the Arc in the final game of the season for the Northwestern softball program. Score, as that will move the count, to 3-1. Garza, who has had some trouble on the season with walks, is in danger of surrendering her walk of the afternoon. If she is not able to battle back, pitching coach Laura Miller will come out and have a quick word. I'm assuming something to do with some sort of fundamentals on the windup here for Madison Garza. Looks like she's giving her some pretty detailed instruction, a little bit of reassurance. She makes the trot back over to third base dugout as we are ready to go here with the count 3-1 against number 14, the left fielder, Hannah Fisher. Fisher, a freshman out of Bald Knob, Arkansas. That will be a walk issued by Garza. Look down at my roster. That was definitely not the town I was anticipating hearing, so sorry if I said that a little funny, but yes, Bald Knob, Arkansas, a graduate of Bald Knob High School. Regardless, she will get on first base by way of the walk, bringing up Kendall Pirtle, the center fielder, number 2, who lays a bunt down, picked up by the third baseman, Corrales. She will turn to second and make the play as the sac bunt is unsuccessful. Fisher is out on the force as Corrales with the heads-up play to scoop it, turn, and throw over to Katie Bell at second base. We have one out here in the inning. Pirtle will get on by way of the fielder's choice, but the sacrifice bunt attempt is unsuccessful. So that brings up Carney here. Step out and allow Pirtle to steal second. That's just with a strong arm behind the plate, but Pirtle obviously has a little bit of speed. That was her 11th stolen base of the season. She's now 11 for 14. The starting team is willing to go whenever the time presents itself. Garza will reset here with one out in the inning. Runner on scoring position. Pirtle stands at second. She advanced on a sacrifice bunt attempt that was negated by Brittany Corrales, who picked it up and threw it to Katie Bell at second base to get the lead runner. So she advanced by way of the fielder's choice. Moved over with a steal as Harding has the tying run in scoring position. Northwestern leading 1-0 here in the fifth inning. Catcher Carney, she will rock and deliver. That one is fouled off as well. That and do it again. Count stands even at 2-2 as Carney will step back in. Garza will check the signal. She will rock and fire. Tries to get her to chase on the changeup, but it is no dice. Count moves full at 3-2. That's a pitch Garza used yesterday very effectively en route to 9 strikeouts throughout her win. And she obviously a point for Phil Berry as the 3-2 pitch comes in and is lined to right field and down in front of the center fielder McGraw, who will pick it up and throw in all the way to third base. Carney will go to second as the throw now goes into the outfield, and Carney will stand up and come all the way around. The throw at the plate will not be in time, and Carney, that will be a whole host of scoring opportunities for our statisticians. But Carney, I believe that was going to be a single. She advanced on the throw. And then the throw came into Corrales, and Corrales tried to get her at second. And as she slid, Corrales threw the ball over the top of the second baseman. The ball went all the way to right field. Macy Madewell, after making the play, was already out of position. So Carney came around to score. Wild play here. Fisher came around from second to score. Pirtle came around from second to score. My apologies. Carney, we'll see how that is officially scored once our statisticians talk it over. But regardless, the score is now 2-1 here at the Alvarette complex. Some costly errors. Just from the discussions I'm hearing around me, I believe that's going to be 2 errors charged to the Rangers. But regardless, a very costly play. So there is still just one out here in this inning. Harding has taken the lead 2-1. Garza misses low. Top half of the lineup has come up here for the Bisons. Number 28, the second baseman, Maddie Trump, has stepped in. That one is right down the heart of the plate for a called strike. So Northwestern, with some defensive blunders, has officially been determined that Carney got on by a single, which scored hurdle, but then advanced on 2 errors that allowed her to score. Both of those errors are charged as throwing errors. One, the first one from McGraw, and the second one from Corrales. So 2 costly errors there for the Rangers as that one is chopped over to the third baseman Corrales, who picks and throws out just in time. The speedy Trump tried to make the effort to get down there, but she was unsuccessful. She is retired 5-3 for the second out of the inning. Garza responds on the to the 2 throwing errors. A 5-3 put out to get the second out of the inning, bringing up Peyton Mills, who has struck out twice in this game already. Mills, like I have mentioned, was the hero in game number 1 as she hits that one over the third base dugout foul to fall behind on the count 0-1. She hit the home run on the 0-2 count off Carly Murray that put the Bisons up 1 run and ultimately would be the game-winning hit. Game number 1, 3-2. So Mills entered the day, with a 358 average, best on the team and near the top of the Great American Conference. That ball is in there for a called strike, and she is quickly down 0-2. Garza doing a good job of keeping her off balance. She hasn't thrown her a fastball yet. I think one would be safe to say Mills is a pretty stout fastball hitter after watching her these past 4 games. As 0-2 pitches delivered, and that one is lined into left field, and a nice backhanded snag by Peyton Garrett on an absolute rocket opposite field. Shot there from Mills. Peyton Garrett had to make a nice backhanded snag to keep that from going to the fence and limited Mills to just a single. A 2-out single will draw up Briley Faringa, who flew out to center field in the first and then advanced to first by way of a walk in the fourth, but was ultimately put out on a double play by the first baseman Matty Parrish. Caught a line drive, turned around and stepped on the bag. Head back in the 4th inning. So Faringa looking to get on base for the second time and make this one count. As we have gotten our live stats back up, so you can see the scoreboard now clearly. Harding ahead 2-1. A.D. Carney came around and scored on 2 throwing errors from Northwestern. Madison McGraw from center field, and then Brittany Corrales followed that up by throwing the ball over the second baseman's head, allowing Carney to come all the way around to score. And what was supposed to be just a 1-run surrender by Madison Garza turned into a 2-run, giving Harding the 1-run advantage. And Faringa will watch that one fire as she will reset, tap the plate twice. Again. Set and ready to go. Madison Garza winds, delivers, fired right down the middle for a called strike. And that is will move the count to 3-2 here with 2 outs. Top half of the 5th inning. Garza trying to get out of here with just the 2 runs. That one is high. Wow. Looked like it broke in there for a strike at the very end, but couldn't get the call, and that will be another walk. Mills will move over to second, and Faringa will trot down to first. Five walks on the afternoon for Madison Garza. Here through 4 2/3. That is a swing and a miss for number 24, Madison Leggett. We have a brief stoppage in play as Estes comes out and has a word with her pitcher as they will try and reset here and get out of this inning. that they entered ahead 1-0, but 2 runs, one of them which will surely be unearned, to Garza due to the 2 throwing errors. It scored Carney, who singled, advanced on the throw, and then advanced home on 2 throwing errors. Garza will check her play sheet, wind, and deliver. That will be a called strike on the nice off-speed pitch to number 24, Madison Leggett, the shortstop who is 0 for 2 on the afternoon, with a strikeout. Line out to the first baseman that ultimately ended in a double play. Garza delivers, low and outside on a called ball, a good pitch. Couldn't get Leggett to swing. That has really been the story here for Garza. She's given up 5 walks, but she's thrown a lot of good pitches. Harding is just not taking hacks at those pitches that they were swinging at yesterday on the off-speed pitches from Garza. She will deliver right past the batter, and that is strike 3 for the 3rd out of the inning. Harding does do their damage with 2 runs and takes the 2-1 advantage. But Garza comes back strong and gets a strikeout. We will move to the bottom half of the 5th inning here in Alva. Rangers trail 2-1 with Garrett, Parrott, and Gorales due up here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. You are watching live softball on RideRangersRide.com. So Peyton Garrett will step in and get us started for the bottom half of the 5th inning. She struck out back in the 3rd and will look to get the momentum shifted back in the Rangers' favor as Harding struck for 2 runs. Top half of that 5th frame. Garrett will work with her first lead of the game as that one will be a ball. Garrett. Garrett, one of 9 seniors on a senior-laden roster. Coach Webb will have to do her due diligence to get some new faces here to Alva's. That one is in for a called strike if she hopes to continue to move this softball program in the right direction, which I can assure you she is doing her due diligence in doing so. That one is chopped right back to the pitcher, Garrett, who will turn and fire over to the first baseman, Fields. 1-3 putout of Garrett to open up the 5th, and there is 1 out. Little update from Ranger Baseball. The pride of Boston, Matthew Bickford, in his last game in the Ranger uniform, got the start and has 131 pitches into his outing in the bottom of the 9th inning with the score at 4-3 and a runner on second base. All the Ranger faithful out there would love to see Bickford go out with a win, and it looks like he's going to be able to do so. As that one here in Alva misses outside to Maddie Parrott. Parrott will dig back in, stare down Emily Garrett. I feel like I'm repeating myself out here in center field because last couple of seconds I've said 2 Garretts and a Parrott, so that's not something you get to say every day. But back to the game, a foul ball over down the third base side. Matthew Bickford, the pride of Boston, Massachusetts, has done it, going a complete game, 9-inning victory. And In his final Ranger appearance, the 4-year senior that has thrown many pitches on the Ranger diamond gets the victory, a 4-3 victory over the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs as series now sits at 1-1. What a finish for Matthew Bickford, a guy that has meant so much to this Ranger baseball program. What a better way to put him out. That one is hit high as a lot of Bisons collide, and ultimately the second baseman, Matty Trump, will come up with it. That was just an absolute cluster out in right field as the second baseman, Trump, the right fielder, Mills, and the center fielder, Pirtle, were all converging on the ball at the exact same time. Trump ultimately came up with it, and that will be a forward put out of Parrott for 2 outs, and Brittany Corrales, the third baseman, number 3, steps in. Corrales 0 for 2 on the day. She will line one over to the shortstop, Leggett, who will turn and fire in time for out number 3, and that will be a 1-2-3 inning for the Rangers as we will move to the 6th frame here in Alva. Harding is on top 2-1. You are watching live Ranger softball on RideRangersRide.com. Madison Garza will trot back out for her final start in a Ranger uniform. The senior out of Edna, Texas, survived a ugly defensive last inning for the Rangers, giving up just 2 runs, one of them being earned. She will go back to work, looking to get back on track here against number 11, Amanda Fields, the first baseman. Top half of this 6th inning, the Rangers trailing 2-1. And I've got to tell you, this has been an exciting series of softball. Both teams playing very well. Dirt gets past the catcher, Estes. Both teams playing very well. Northwestern took the opening game of the series 4-0 and followed that up with a 2-1 victory in game 2. Dropped the first game today in the third game of the series 3-2 and are looking to defeat Harding for the first time in program history as an NCAA Division II institution. So against a program that has had some success on the softball diamond, that is something to hold your head high about if you're Coach Jill Webb and company. Tell that these girls, although it is their last game and they're out of postseason contention, they are still putting it all on the line. That one is fouled off. A lot of that being the opponent and a lot of that being the 9 seniors that are playing their last game as well, including Garza, who has been phenomenal so far with her signature off-balance pitching style as she goes to work here. Tries to get Fields to chase, but is unsuccessful as that one is in the dirt. As the count evens at 2-2, Garza checks her signal, rocks, delivers, and that one is fouled off. We will reset and do it again. Fields, Gordon, and Fisher are due up here in the 6th. Northwestern would like to get back to the dugout quickly, as they will have just 6 more outs to work with to get that final run to tie things up if they're able to get out of this one without a blemish, as that one is lined into left field on a nice at-bat by Fields. Garrett ultimately fields it, tosses it back to the shortstop Sutton, who gets it back to Garza. But that will be a lead-off single, not what the Rangers wanted to see. They will now have to work around that as Gordon Fisher and Pirtle are now due up. Fields with her second appearance on the base path this afternoon. She walked back in the fourth. So Gordon will step up. Third baseman, number 1. Looks like Fields will have a force out against her at second. That would be the first out. Gordon will advance on the fielder's choice. Out in the inning. Fisher will square to bunt as Gordon takes off and slides in successfully. Slow to get up. Looks like she's going to be okay, but that would be a stolen base for Gordon. Coach Phil Berry will get that runner in scoring position that he tried to get inning before the force out at second got the lead runner. That one is in there for a called strike on number 14, Hannah Fisher. Fisher walked back in the fifth, but was part of a double play, or actually, no, a force out, 5-4 put out of her back in the fifth and then flew out to right field in the third. She will get up to the plate trying to extend this Harding Bison's advantage. But will be called out. I'm not exactly sure for what reason. That was an interesting call. I think it might have been catcher's interference. I'm not really sure what happened. But anyways, that is the second out of the inning. We will look and wait for our official stat. What happened there? Oh, they did call the third strike on Fisher. Yeah, I don't think the umpire was aware of the count, and Fisher just took off. He never actually made the put-out call, so that was a strikeout of Fisher. Pirtle, the center fielder number 2, will dig in as we have had an interesting day here at the Alva Rec Complex. Every senior day seems to go that way. Technical difficulties, statistical difficulties, and now the umpire with some difficulties, but expect anything out here at the Alva Rec Complex as that one misses. Pirtle will dig back in. Like Manny McGraw, the center fielder, has shifted slightly over towards left field as that will be a walk, a 2-out walk of Pirtle. Runners will be at first and second. Gordon stands on second, Pirtle at first, bringing up Katie Carney, who had the single, advanced on a double, scored on 2 throwing errors in the 5th inning to serve as the go-ahead run on an interesting play. I had mentioned it had been a weird day here at the Alva Rec Complex. That was one of those plays that we have seen that was out of the ordinary. She had a routine single to right field. The play was thrown over the second baseman's head once, landed in the third baseman Corrales. Carney took off to second. Corrales tried to throw and went off the glove of Bell, as that is lined out and caught by Jordan Sutton for the third out of the inning. But the throw from Corrales went over Bell, and Madewell was already out of position, so the ball rolled all the way to the fence, and Carney was able to come in and score for the go-ahead run. But Northwestern will attempt to negate that here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. They will try and go to work down 2-1. You're watching live Ranger softball on RideRangersRide.com. Emily Garrett will come back out to go to work here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. The Rangers have been retired 6 in a row here in the last 2 frames, starting with Audrey Estes. She was out on a fly out to right field. Jada Overby struck out. Katie Bell popped up to the shortstop. Peyton Garrett lined out to the third baseman. Parrott flew out to the second baseman. Corrales was retired on a ground out to the shortstop. So the Rangers in their last 6 batters have gotten absolutely nothing going. Jordan Sutton will lead things off here, trying to get that turned around, as she will hit a hard hit ball deep over the fence, and we have a tie ball game. Right when I was saying the Ranger offense was starting to stall, she absolutely annihilates a ball over the left field fence and will be congratulated with her teammates as the senior comes through and ties this thing up 2-2. And the Northwestern sideline has absolutely new life here. On that ball was absolutely tattooed. Jordan Sutton with her 4th home run of the season. She is 2 for 3 on the day after a single in the 3rd inning. And we are tied up, folks. What a softball series we have going on here at the Arc. The last one of the season. That ball I couldn't quite see from my angle, but I'm being told it almost landed in the parking lot out here of the Alvarette complex. It was just absolutely smoked. The left fielder never even moved. Madison McGraw will try and follow things up here and takes a first pitch ball. McGraw drew a walk back in the 3rd and grounded out to the shortstop in the 1st. We will have a meeting at the pitcher's mound. Coach Berry wants to come out and have a word with his pitcher, and we're going to have a change. We're going to take a slight break in action here as the new pitcher gets warmed up. We will return shortly on RideRangersRide.com. So Coach Phil Berry will turn the ball back to Emma Dwyer, who came in the first game in relief and was outstanding, picking up the victory over the Rangers. She will try and go to work here against the heart of the Ranger order. Jordan Sutton tied things up with a solo shot deep over the left field fence. I got to tell you, that was one of the most hard-hit balls I've seen in a while. Dwyer will come back out onto the mound and get to work on a first pitch swinging strike. McGraw tried to unload on that one, as well as the Rangers have new life. They are trying to battle their way back here to their first ever series victory over Harding. Harding, a perennial contender in the Great American Conference, has a young squad this year, 9 freshmen, including Dwyer, the native of Danville, Indiana. She is a 5'8" freshman and threw a great game in the first. She misses outside. The count evens up at 1-1. So as we move here throughout the afternoon, we are honoring our Northwestern seniors throughout this afternoon. Thanks going around Alva all over the place. As I mentioned earlier, Matthew Bickford of the Ranger Baseball came in and earned himself a great ending to his senior career. He, I'm sure, is going to be well rewarded when he gets back to Alva with the celebrations of his teammates and coaches as a spectacular 4-year career finally comes to an end. So congratulations to Bickford. Like I said, he threw a complete game, 9-inning victory. Hadn't started many games all year, but Coach Ryan Bowen gave him the ball and trusted him to get the job done as the Rangers open up the series with SWOSU 1-1. Back to softball here. McGraw trying to battle and get on base against Dwyer, who comes in relief of Emily Garrett. That ball is fouled off behind. Harding looked to be cruising. They had retired 6 straight batters before Jordan Sutton stepped up and hit an absolute bomb over the left field fence. For those of you familiar with the Alva Rec Complex, it landed almost to the parking lot out there. That is no exaggeration, folks. That was one of the hardest hit balls all season. That one is low in the dirt, and the Rangers continue their momentum with another base runner here, as McGraw will draw the walk and trot down to first. That was her second drawn walk of the afternoon, bringing up Macy Madewell, who is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. She struck out in the third and grounded out to short in the second. She'll be looking to get her first hit. Again, a senior out of Paris, Texas, looking to get that run across to give them the advantage moving into the top of the 7th. This could be a huge stretch with no outs, so she will lay down a bunt. It's picked up by that pitcher, who turns over and throws over to first base, where the second baseman, Trump, is standing. But the sacrifice bunt for Madewell is complete. McGraw makes it over to second base. Sacrifice bunt is complete. Andre Estes, another senior, will step up here, the catcher number 1, with McGraw the go-ahead run standing on second. Dwyer will line one to the shortstop, who will make the play. A nice play. Actually, I believe that was the third baseman, Gordon, who will make the play over at first. The ball was hit perfectly to where McGraw could not make the effort to advance to third, so that will just be a ground out for Estes on a nice play by the third baseman, Gordon. McGraw remains at second. So we'll come down to Jada Overby here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Score is knotted up at 2-2. Overby has struck out twice, once in the second, once in the fourth, Again. Looks like we will have a pinch hitter here. This looks like it's going to be number 22, Morgan Kirk. Going to dig in. Joe Webb will put in the junior infielder, who takes a first pitch ball. Kirk will slide into that designated player role with McGraw on second. Joe Webb will look to her to provide the role of hero here for the Rangers in the bottom half of this sixth inning. Pitch is in there for a strike. Count evens at 1-1. Morgan Kirk was our Northwestern Athletic Department recipient of the Sportsmanship Award. Ranger softball program cleaned house at the awards, picking up two individual accolades and two team accolades. Successful night for Ranger softball. That one just catches the outside part of the strike zone. Count moves to 1-2. Morgan Kirk will dig back in. Unsung leaders, as Coach Webb likes to refer to her as, of this team. Her attitude, she says, is infectious. She will look to get that go-ahead run across. She misses well outside. McGraw with a hard lead off second. Trots back to the bag. So Sutton led things off in this inning with a solo shot deep over the left field fence. Tie things up at 2-2. McGraw got on by way of a walk. A sac bunt center over to second by Madewell. And that ball is through the gap. McGraw is going to turn and go home. The center fielder will not have a throw, and she will slide in as the Rangers have the go-ahead run. McGraw is fired up. Morgan Kirk drives her home. She was put in to pinch hit to play the role of hero, and she has done so. A hard-hit single up the center field, right at the center fielder, allows McGraw to come all the way from second and score with no contested throw. And the Rangers have put together 2 runs here in the bottom half of this sixth inning to take a 3-2 lead. What a change of events. Entering this inning down 1, and now it looks like they're going to leave it leading by at least 1 as senior Katie Bell will step in here with Kirk on first, 2 outs. That one misses low in the dirt. Morgan Kirk with a textbook piece of hitting, taking that inside pitch right back up the middle, and McGraw, from the time she left second, she had it in her mind she was scoring. Very strong runner. There wasn't even a throw from Pirtle out in center field, so she slid in and screamed her praise to Kirk for the job well done. That ball misses outside. Catcher Carney glances over to first as Kirk will step back. And everybody will try and calm down. We are fired up here at the Alva Recreational Complex. Rangers trying to put the finishing touches on their first series victory as a program over Harding. Would be an impressive feat. Dwyer came on in relief of Emily Garrett, who started out the game, subsequently giving up 2 runs here to the Rangers. Put the Bisons behind 3-2 in the final game of the season for the Rangers, as that one is low, and Katie Bell will draw the walk. Being on base for the first time this afternoon, Kirk will trot over to second, bringing up senior Peyton Garrett. 0 for 2 on the day, lining out to the first baseman in the 5th and striking out in the 3rd. Looks like Coach Barry is going to make a change here. He will take out Dwyer to try and get this last out. The Bisons are visibly rattled in this tough series. We'll talk about the new pitcher when we return. You are listening to Ranger Softball live on RideRangersRide.com. So Emma Dwyer will give way to Amanda Berry here. Dwyer gave up the single to Morgan Kirk that scored McGraw. She also gave up the leadoff solo shot that tied it up by Jordan Sutton at the beginning of this inning. Now we have 2 outs with runners on first and second. Kirk stands on second and Katie Bell at first. Garrett steps in, takes a called strike. Garrett, a senior, one of 9 seniors playing their final game of the season. Harding, like I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, has clinched their spot in the Great American Conference postseason tournament. But the Rangers, with their loss earlier today, had no way of reaching the amount of games needed to qualify. That one misses just outside. So their season will be over after today, but these seniors would love to go out on a high note, and they definitely have gotten their money's worth here. All of the senior parents that are in town in Alva this weekend. For it, as I apologize for a camera issue there. Hard in the production trailer to get that fixed. Garrett will stand in, ready to go. Just delivered, and that is a hard hit ball. Fair down the third base line. Kirk is around to score. Bell slides into third, and Garrett slides into second for the double, an RBI double, and the Rangers have taken the 4-2 advantage. What a nice piece of hitting by Garrett with a double. It just barely was fair down that third base line. Kirk came around from second to score, and the Rangers have struck for 3 in this half inning to take the 4-2 advantage. Bell now stands on third, Garrett on second. We are trying to get that main camera feed back on. At the Alva Rec Complex. So the Rangers have had some fireworks here in the bottom half of this 6th inning. That one misses just inside. We go back up to the top of the lineup as Maddie Parrott has dug in. She is 1 for 2 on the day. She advanced on an error back in the 3rd inning and came around and scored. She also had a single back in the 1st. Just outside. So to set the stage here, the Rangers entered this inning down 2-1, but have since struck for 3. It got started with a solo home run by Jordan Sutton to left field, followed up by a RBI single up the middle by Morgan Kirk that scored Madison McGraw, who got on base by way of a walk. That was all followed up by another walk by Katie Bell, and then an RBI double down the left field line by senior Peyton Garrett, who scored Morgan Kirk all the way from second to provide us with our score that we sit at now 4-2, as Maddie Parrott is on at the plate. So Maddie Parrott will draw the walk. Excuse me, as the bases are now loaded. Senior Brittany Corrales, who has yet to get on base. Afternoon, she has flew out to right field, line back to the pitcher, grounded out to shortstop, as Coach Barry's going to have a meeting with his squad at the pitcher's mound. Himself is going to have a meeting, as Amanda Berry has taken over in the circle here, as we're trying to work on these camera feeds here. Like I said, it's been an interesting day here at the Alva Rec Complex. That one looks like it misses just outside to Corrales. Homered back in game one of today. Led off this with a home run as the Rangers have failed to quit here in their final game of the season. 3 runs being scored. Sutton drove herself around with a home run. McGraw scored and Kirk scored. That one from Barry is high. Count moves to 2-1. Bases juice, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Rangers lead 4-2. Barry will deliver to Corrales. She will pop one foul. We will reset everything. There is some electricity in the air here at the Alva Rec Complex. Parents from all over the region have come to support these girls in their final game as a Ranger, and they have not disappointed with a 3-run bottom half of the 6th inning here, and there looks like they could still tack on some more as the pitch is delivered. That is in there for strike number 3, looked on. But nonetheless, the Rangers have struck for 3 in the bottom half of this 6th inning and will now be looking to shut out the Bisons here and pick up their first series victory over the team from Searcy, Arkansas here at the Alva Rec Complex. These seniors will take the field for the last time here at Northwestern Softball Field at the Arc. We will bring you the action live on RideRangersRide.com shortly. Senior Madison Garza will step into the circle trying to shut down the Harding Bisons here as Northwestern has a 4-2 advantage. That one is lined foul down the third base line for strike number 1. Garza is 3 outs away from a victory here this afternoon. That would be her 6th of the season and her final one in the Northwestern Ranger uniform. We are looking for a ball here at the Arc. Maddie Trump, the second baseman and leadoff hitter, will get things started here in the 7th. Self-trailing in an 0-1 count. Garza will check her play sheet on her wrist, wind, and fire. In there for a called strike 2, and she moves quickly ahead 0-2 of Trump. 0 for 2 on the day. She did advance on a walk back in the 3rd, but she is grounded out to third base in the 5th and flown out to right field in the 1st. Just outside. He will be followed up by Peyton Mills and Briley Faringa. Bisons hope to keep their regular season going. They have the GAC postseason tournament to contend with get started next weekend. And that is in there for a called strike 3. Madison Garza gets the strikeout for 6th of the afternoon. Excuse me, her 7th of the afternoon, including that one. Miscalculation on my part, but nevertheless, that is her 15th strikeout of the series. Looks like we're having a brief meeting with Peyton Mills, the left fielder here. The trainer, Katie Drashner, came out to check on her. I'm not sure if that's a little bit of heat exhaustion or what, but it is hot out here. So we're going to check and make sure the senior is okay and is able to make it through her last couple batters here at the Arc. There is one out in the top half of this 7th inning. High for ball number 1. Count opens at 1-0. Peyton Mills, who has been the star of this series, got her first hit of the game back in the 5th inning, but struck out in the 1st and 3rd. Bison Slugger has been kept on her wraps for the most part, as she will foul that one off, but she is always a dangerous hitter. Garza will work around her carefully. Rangers trailed 2-1 going into the bottom half of the 6th inning, but struck 3 runs to take this 4-2 lead. Jordan Sutton got things off with a game-tying home run as that one misses low as the leadoff hitter. Madison McGraw got on following that by way of a walk before Morgan Kirk got her home with a 2-out RBI single. She was then... That one is hit to left center. It is stopped by the center fielder McGraw, who gets it back into second, not in time, as Mills will have a double to left center. Like I mentioned, Mills is a talented hitter who will make you pay on a bad pitch, and that was a bad pitch for Garza. She will now stand at second, and the tying run will come to the plate. Riley Faringa, the designated hitter, number 12, will step in here. Runner on second after that 1-out double. For a called strike. Sutton, McGraw, and Kirk with the 3 runs. Garrett, McGraw, and Sutton picked up the RBIs throughout the inning. But overall, a good team effort throughout the inning to get those 3 runs to give them the 4-2 cushion. One is fouled off. So runner stands at second after Peyton Mills' 1-out double to left center off of Madison Garza, her second consecutive hit in many at-bats. And that is a called strike 3 as Madison Garza has struck out her second batter of the inning. And that will leave everything up to number 24, the shortstop Madison Leggett, as Garza continues to deal with her 8th strikeout of the game, her 17th of the series. Just 2 games of work, and the Northwestern Oklahoma State 2018 seniors are 1 out away from the program's first series victory over Harding. Garza delivers, and that one is fouls off. Everybody in the stands is on their feet here at the Arc. What an exciting day to be a Ranger. And what a way to send off these seniors in impressive fashion. That changeup is in there for a called strike. And the count is 0-2. Garza is 1 strike away from putting it into this, getting her 6th win of the season and her final win of her 3-year career. She will check the pitching chart. She will rock. She will fire. And that one is just misses outside as the count moves to 1-2. So here we go. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Garza rocks, fires. Just misses low. Count evens up at 2-2. Rangers lead 4-2. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th. Put together this 2-run advantage. These seniors have battled hard throughout their careers here as Rangers. Moving this program in the right direction. This would be a great way to send them out. Garza rocks, fires, and it dials her up, and that is the final out as the field is stormed by the Rangers, and the Rangers take a 3-1 series victory. What a way to send out these seniors. You can see just how much this victory, not only of this game, but of this series, meant to these girls and the contributions they've made as Rangers. We cannot thank you enough. Garza, with her 9th strikeout of the game, she was absolutely phenomenal. That bottom half of the 6th inning was something special as well. The Rangers scored 3 runs. Jordan Sutton got it started with a home run that was probably the hardest hit ball all year at the Arc. And it all comes together for a 4-2 victory in favor of Northwestern. They take the first, second, and fourth games of this series. Dropped the first one earlier 3-2, but they win by finals of 4-0, 3-2, and 4-2. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great season of Rangers softball. Not a better way to send out these seniors. Appreciate you for tuning in, and as always, Ride Rangers Ride. For Northwestern Athletics, I'm Ryan Shoemaker. Have a wonderful afternoon.